Android user switches to iPhone. 6-month update, my perspective. 90% of you, this video will not apply to because all you use your phone for is basic stuff. And none of these issues are that big a deal. But we're going to get kind of technical and get kind of into this. I really want to share with you what I think of this thing. Now that I've used it for 6 months, coming from the Galaxy line of devices for a long time. Let's start with the case. Now, I am recording on an old phone, so you'll have to mind the video quality, but this is more of a talking video than an actual showcase video. So let's start with the case. This is the iPhone MagSafe Clear case. Now, I do like this case. It has proven to be very rugged, durable. I don't know if we're going to focus. There we go. It does show off the phone very well. I got the Desert Titanium 512 gigabyte model, which is beautiful. But my first issue with this case is the edges. I don't quite understand, iPhone. Why did you have to have these edges open? Because all it does is in your pocket and everywhere collect dust and dirt. Like, why couldn't you make the edge seal on the edge of the phone? Now, I don't know if it's just because due to some like screen design thing or something that needed to happen to make this case work correctly, but it collects dust and dirt all along the edge of the phone all the time. And it's really annoying. I take it off every day and wipe it out because there's little particulates. I feel like other phones don't have that issue. Now, let's open this up and get into the software side of things. First thing I don't like. The control center. Now, iPhone, I'm going to be honest with you, they know their customer base and they know it well. They know people are, I'll be honest, dumb. So when you go in here to control these, when you click them, they don't actually turn off. And I don't know if there's an option, but see, now mine has adapted to open this because it knows that I want to go into the settings and turn Wi-Fi completely off. But I can't turn Wi-Fi completely off just from the window. Like that works. That's good. This one, again, like I said, adapted. But when you hit that, that's not off. It's kind of temporarily off until it finds a new network. As an Android user and a person that wants control of things, this is really annoying that I have to double click, go into settings, and actually turn the Wi-Fi completely off to turn off things. On Android, when you pull down the notification bar like this, your settings are all up top and you can arrange them any way you want. And when you hit them, it turns that function off. It doesn't temporarily turn it off because people can't really find what actually is off. So next thing, I know I'm going to be kind of all over the place here. The notifications, annoying that they don't actually turn off like they're supposed to. Second, there are no pop-up windows on the iPhone. It's just this cutout up here, which is the pill, so-called. I don't have any problem with that, but when I'm in YouTube with my Android, when I went home, that little window would pop into a separate window down here and it would still display the video. So I could go look up and do something else while the video is still playing in a little pop-up window down here. And sometimes that's nice because I'm looking for a password for something and I can have two apps open and look for the password and then take it from the one app, Dashlane, and have the other app open and put that password in. I can't do that here. So when videos minimize and are playing on iPhone from like YouTube, and I understand this because a lot of people listen to music and they don't need the video, but there is no window to pop up around and play with. So that video is just up here and there's a little like picture and like sound notification that the video is playing. So I can tap up here and open the YouTube video that is playing, but I can't actually look at the preview of the video. So you're stuck doing whatever you're doing without actually seeing the video. That is kind of annoying. Okay, next minor bug that slightly annoys me, the photo gallery. And many people, even in the Apple community, have commented on the photo gallery. Now, mind me, there's going to be a lot of airplanes and cars and an apartment and blah, blah, blah. The photo gallery for iPhone is not very organized. Now, I don't have a problem scrolling through the pictures because it just goes in alphabetical date. The issue is on Android, it separates them into folders. So I can see the downloads, I can see the pictures I've taken with the phone, I can see all the separate folders and move them to separate folders. Here it's just one big thing, and you have to go down here like it's just one big scroll. Not the biggest deal in the world, but not set up very well in my opinion. Android galleries do it better. The next thing, the screen. The screen on the iPhone is very good. I do like it. It does not have the anti-reflective coating that Android does. I do like that anti-reflective coating, and I didn't even use a screen protector on my S24 Ultra because the screen just, well, first of all, was covered, but second of all, was strong. Third of all, had that anti-reflective coating. And by putting a screen protector on, I have a cheap one on because I refuse to use the glass ones, gets rid of that anti-reflective coating advantage that you have. But you can see that light clear as day. This does not have the anti-reflective coating. With that, the OLED screen is good, but it's not as good as Samsung. I know Samsung even makes the screen for the iPhone in some cases, I'm pretty sure. I saw research on that, but this screen just is not as good as Samsung. The dynamic range is better. The whites are better on Android devices, I find, when you turn them up and down, especially Samsung. In Samsung, you can go and hit an extra brightness toggle, and that means I only have to have my brightness here on Samsung, and the screen is more than bright enough for everything I need. On this one, in order to get the equivalent amount of brightness, I have to go up. And not that that's a big deal, because you can just leave it up like that, but it makes me feel like I'm using 75% of brightness instead of 25% of brightness. Now, the actual brightness of the screen is going to use the same amount of battery either way, so again, it's not that big a deal, but the screen I find to be better on the competition than this. Next thing, iPhone. This is ridiculous, and this is actually what pisses me off the most. Every once in a while, you'll get an iPhone, iCloud, whatever, can't be backed up. There's not enough storage. Now, let me look at something. 2.2 of 5 gigabytes are being used, but it will try to back up my stuff to the iCloud. Every once in a while, probably once a week, I get a notification here saying not enough iCloud storage. Well, first of all, okay, I don't care. Second of all, it gets stuck here. It says purchase, it's forcing you to buy more iCloud storage. And sometimes I can't even get rid of the notification. And the annoying thing is it's because the notification stays on the home screen. It never goes away. And I can't get it to go away other than going in here, going in here, going in here, and like, I get what you're doing, iPhone. You're forcing people to just buy more iCloud storage, and you're forcing it by keeping the notification there, making them think that it's some like bad thing and they have to purchase more. But you're forcing marketing down people's throats, and it's miserable. Like, you shouldn't do that. I should have the option to say no thank you, and it just goes away. But half the time, I can't get it to go away. I'll even go in here. Yeah, right here, right here. This will come up, this will pop up, and then I go like this, and you think, oh, I get it away from here. And here's the pop-up that pumps up. I hit not now, and then I go back, and then I go back, and that notification sometimes still doesn't go away. I have to completely... the phone in order to get that notification to go away. And like forcing that type of marketing down your throat because something that isn't even real storage is fake iCloud storage is full when it's not is miserable. Like, I get what you're doing, but like to me, you're forcing stuff down people's throat that don't need it and don't understand any better because you know the market that buys this phone. That is really annoying. So, all right, here goes the next session, the camera. This is a big one to unpack. Where do I start? Let's start here. The focus. The focus on the camera is not good. Each individual mode does different things, and has a different idea of what the focus range should be. So like 1x, 2x, 5x, they all have different focus parameters programmed into them. The issue is what I use my phone for is mostly unboxings, as a lot of you know, and zoom, far away stuff. And I have issues with both. The zoom, so when we go 1x camera, and I record 4K 60 all the time, the focus never seems, when I get really close, it seems to do this, yeah, you saw it there. This change in sort of, and then this icon comes up, but then the picture quality degrades. And sometimes when the camera's stationary and I just want it to stay in the other mode, it won't focus. It just won't, I can't get anything close to it without it losing focus. And that never happened with my Android devices. So when you're too far away, it loses focus. When you're too close, it does this whole weird change thing, and then it loses focus because it thinks you're like in scenery mode or something, but it doesn't work. The color reproduction on this. So I had HDR on for the longest time, and what I noticed in bright sunlight, when you have different contrast days, the HDR whiteness colors get blown out of proportion. So it may be HDR, but it's only HDR in a certain setting that works. I found what it does is it blows the highlights out of proportion, and it loses detail where detail is needed. So it's not really a useful feature to me. I don't think it works that well, and I don't think it's real. So I turned it off, and it seems to be better now. But the issue I have is on certain backgrounds and certain lighting conditions, the program that the iPhone has in order to create the right colors is off. The whites get dimmed, or like they just I don't know how to describe it, but they aren't as white as they are in real life. So like this background with unboxing videos, now this looks white, but it, like when I unbox airplanes and stuff, the whole hue of the video goes towards a yellow hue. And I'm not looking to record videos and then go into post-production and do all this stuff in order to correct them. I want what the best thing off the camera can record to put up. It's not about that. And 99% of people just take what's off the camera. iPhone knows that. They created this action button, this camera button, which a lot of people knock. I like it. I like this camera button. It's very easy. On Android, sometimes I have to, go to the home screen and the camera kind of opens and then I got to rotate it. This one, I need to take a picture. I need to start a video real quick. Boom. That's really useful. I like that. But the white balance toning, the toning of the whites with certain contrast and backgrounds is not good. It doesn't stay uniform to real life, in my opinion. As I talked about with the lens switching, when you go, I like the scroll wheel. It gives you more control, but the lens switching itself, like I said, each lens has a different program of focus into it. And when you switch lenses, it doesn't necessarily do it smoothly all the time. I find that quite annoying when you're trying to do content and you want to go to 2x zoom. By the way, 2x zoom is not actually using another camera, so it's just cropping in the sensor of the 1x camera, which is annoying because you start to lose detail in the image. The next camera up, I think, is the 3x or something. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't know. The 5x camera is the next step up. The zoom is not, it's not set up very well, in my opinion. I'll just end on that. It's very confusing, but it is annoying. With that, let's go to 5x zoom. Like I said, I use the phone primarily for up close shooting and unboxings, and then the zoom capability. The zoom capability on iPhone is not better than Samsung's zoom. The Samsung Zoom 10x zoom option they have, now the 10x zoom is fake on the S23, 24, and 25. It's a digital crop in, but what I've found is that digital crop in, the quality improves because they do some processing to it and it retains more detail. When you take this 5x camera and zoom it to 10x, there's no post-processing that improves the image. And when I focus on dark areas, it completely destroys the darkness and lightness of the image. There's no post-processing. So in this case, that non-processing that the iPhone claims to be such a great thing, which is a great thing, actually hurts it in this case. The zoom function and retention of detail, in my opinion, is worse than Samsung. And that is annoying because I use my camera for photos and videos zooming into that 5x camera pretty much 90% of the time. So if you're just shooting on the 1x, the 1.2 and 1.5 camera, and you do nothing else, and this is good enough for you, that's fine. But the zoom function is not good. Okay, so we're on our rant here. Let's talk about bitrate. iPhone has this weird proprietary .mov software on it. Now that's the file code that the iPhone records video on. iPhone gives you the option to do H.264 and H.265 HVEC video recording, high efficiency files. One thing I didn't notice on my Android devices is that option. Now I have an H.265, which I think is a newer, faster way to do it. But specifically what iPhone does that I didn't realize, I got the 512 gigabyte model because I figured 4K video, 60 frames a second video sizes as normal on the .mp4 files that the Androids record. We're going to, let's say 15 minutes of 4K 60 was going to be 15 gigs, 17 gigs, or 12 gigabytes of data. And I'm like, well, sometimes when I go on trips and I like to record like a long session, I don't want to run out of storage space on the phone itself before I can do the transfer and edit of the footage. Little did I know, iPhone somehow records and compresses those file sizes immensely. So a 16-minute 4K 60 frames a second video on iPhone, when I record it, and I think 265 high efficiency HVAC video format is only like 4.5 to 5 gigabytes in size. It's not actually that massive file size. I did some research a while ago. I don't remember exactly. I don't even remember how they get away with it. But I was quite amazed. So I never use hardly any of this 512 gigabytes that I got on here because I did not realize iPhone has this recording capability. Now there is an option to do H.264 and there is an option to do log. And a lot of people rave about the log recording on this. I suggest you watch some videos on log recording though, because depending on your use case scenario, unless you're a professional editing videos, first of all, the log capability and video function is limited on here. It's not actually like you have all the options you can record log on a real video camera. I think there's like 24. But with that log video recording, you have to edit it. It's going to come out grayscale. And obviously, I don't need to talk about any of this because of the people that actually know more than I do in terms of this video recording and all this stuff on iPhone. You can go watch their videos. But the log function is limited, and you have to post-edit it in something like DaVinci Resolve or Vegas or Adobe Premiere or one of those programs. So I wouldn't get the iPhone for pure log function unless you know what you're doing. And 99% of people that buy this phone click the camera and whatever it's set on, they hit record. iPhone knows that. And that's why they make the settings the way they do, is because they know people that buy these are not power users. All right, one other thing I got to talk about. The audio recording. That's partially why I chose to try this. This has some different options in terms of audio recording, and I like that. I think the iPhone records audio better than Android. You have some options here. So you can see all this. I go in here, and you can choose how you want your audio to be received. I also think the microphones on the iPhone pick up detail on the audio better and have less distortion, albeit not much overall. I like that, and that was part of one of the reasons I wanted to try this. Wind noise reduction seems to work pretty good. Now, of course, if you have a heinous amount of wind noise, it's not going to change it from good to bad. But it does do the job well. And having these options are really good. Actually, one more thing. I got to talk about the camera. The video stabilization. I think the video stabilization, now granted I don't have the S25 Ultra or anything, is very good on iPhone. It almost looks like you're recording from a gimbal, and I like that. The only issue I have with it is when you have extra stabilization turned on in the menu, when you hit record, the video is all like this, shaky, but then when the final product in the gallery comes out, it's good. So I can show you from a video. This is the zoom function at night, which is bad. You know, ISO is cranked to max. I know you can't see it very well, but you see how smooth that pan is. They did a very good job at almost not needing a gimbal in terms of stabilization, but my only complaint is the video is shaky, and in order to get that extra stabilization, the sensor crops in like 5 to 10% of your image. So you got to just pre-plan for that when you have extra stabilization on, is when you record. You see it just keeps switching and switching to this stupid mode. It's annoying. You have to make sure you have your subject a little bit forward in frame, or your subject will get cut off because the preview does not show the crop that the video records in extra stabilization mode. So you have to just pre-plan for that. Also, one more thing, the speakers on the iPhone, as we just heard, I can't show you exactly, but I think they're mediocre at best. They don't seem to get as loud, and when you go full volume, when I'm playing like music and stuff like that, some of the highs and the lows get distorted at full volume. Whereas I've heard other Android phones get louder and have no distortion. Even though the overall quality may be like 5% worse, I feel like you hear it better because the volume is able to get more on it, and it doesn't mute out or distort some of the instruments in the music. So yeah, speakers are okay. If So in conclusion, with my rant, and I know this is a really long one, this is not the albeit better world magical device that everybody makes it out to be. It's a very simplistic device, and people who are Apple people and solely Apple people, it makes me understand why they're excited for new features, because this is all they use and it's all they're ever going to use. So it makes sense why there's a community built around it. I don't plan on getting rid of it, but if they can't improve like the iPhone 17 and have a decent 10x zoom function and improve some of the controllability functions and just some of the real shortcomings and the focus, like I said, and on this camera that I'm recording with, which is a very old phone, is bad too, but it's a Note 4, so what do you expect? If they can't improve the focus functions, if they can't improve their zoom capability, this is no better. It's just, yeah, it's just no... It's not another magical world. It's just another phone built with the technology that is available of the day. It's just different. It's just different. There are things I like about it too, but it's just different. That's all I can say. It's not better. It's not worse. It's just different. So depending on what you do with your phone and the preferences you have, is going to base on what phone you want to choose. But this whole war of phones out there, now that I've tried this for like 6 months, it's okay. It's not great. It's not bad. It's the same thing, but different. I think Samsung does many things better than this. I think Samsung does things worse than this. I understand the ecosystem is much easier to use. The simplicity of this is easier to use. I like how fluid everything is all the time. It's just the same, no matter what, all the time. Kind of a boxed in ecosystem. I don't mind that personally. But yeah. I guess in all, that's my rant on iPhone and my issues with iPhone. And my conclusion, like I said, is it's no better than the competition. I honestly would like to have both of them back because this fails at major aspects that the competition does better. And the competition does worse than this in aspects that I like this because this does it better. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. We'll see you in the next one. Take it or leave it. Some of you won't like this video. Most of you probably don't even need this video because you don't use your phone like I do. But take it or leave it. See you in the next one. Peace.